a gabbing and a singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Toni go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Toni. Tweet, tweet, talk, talking Toni. Tweet, tweet, oh, talking Toni really gonna talk tonight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talking Toni. I'm Toni Holmperm, the singing diva of Long Island, and this is my little show here on Strong Island Radio, where I get to talk to many of the fabulous people that I know, either on Long Island, in New York, the United States, sometimes even, around the world. Recently, I had a guest from London, UK, so things are happening. Today, I have a very, very special guest. He's a very, very funny comedian. He has been on Comedy Central's After Dark. He's been on MTV. Right now, he's sometimes impersonating his sister Plancha for the little telenovelas that he's been doing on Facebook. So everyone, here is Aldo Marachlian. Hello, Aldo.
Hey, Toni, and you said my last name correctly.
Thank the Lord.
Very impressed.
I've only been practicing for about a week.
But did I even tell you how to say it?
I think you did.
Okay, because no one ever not even like elementary school.
You know why? Because we did a show at Governor's, and I was introducing you, and
okay, right.
Excuse me. We're both froggy today because of allergies, and I said let me get your name, the pronunciation right. That's a pet peeve of mine when like names are pronounced wrong. So I was like, let me get the pronunciation down, let me get it right, let me introduce you properly, and thank the Lord the gray cells have not deteriorated despite the quarantine, and I still was able to say your last name correctly.
Perfect. Well, we are actually both saying it incorrectly because we are. Yeah, the Armenian way is Marachlian.
Marachlian. Oh, it's Armenian. Why was I thinking you were Portuguese?
Well, you know what's funny? Let me tell you. Now that you said that, I did a ancestry.com, and it said that I'm 34% Portuguese and like 31% Spaniard. Now, mind you, my mom was Italian, my dad was Armenian, and I was born in Uruguay in South America.
Wow.
So once it came out that I was Portuguese and Spaniard, I wish my parents were alive to ask him what the hell's going on. But it was, hey, you said you thought I was Portuguese?
I don't know.
Ancestry.com says I am too.
Says you are. So,
I guess I am.
I could have told you that, and you didn't even have to pay for a DNA test. See?
You see that? That was a waste.
I could have saved you some coin.
Yeah, that was $100.
I said, no, don't bother with that swab. You're Portuguese. Oh, but now speaking of your background, were you a funny kid?
Yes.
You were?
Yeah. If you look, it's funny. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my mom's room after she passed, and I found some old report cards. And the report cards, when they are always right in the back, like what's going on. They said Aldo is very disruptive in class because all he does is make people laugh. And I will always remember when I was little, I used to always come home and I used to tell my mom, "Oh, I made this person laugh. I made that person laugh." And my mom used to always say, "Do you go to school to learn or to make people laugh?" And I used to always say to make people laugh. And even later on, when I started working, I remember I would come home and tell my mom, "Oh, I made the manager laugh today." And they'd be like, "You think he likes that you're making him laugh?" Like, idiots, work. So, I was always the class clown. So, I guess that's why I will say like real comedians are funny if you could perform without material. Because like you see, when we work together and I'm hosting,
yes,
I have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's
same.
That's what people enjoy. Because it's real. It's not like it's scripted.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's one thing. People generally are always able to tell if somebody is genuine or fake.
Oh yeah. I hate that. I always love when people tell me I know you 20 years and you're always, and you've been the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I am. It's like, hey, this is me. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm nice to you, like the first time I met you and your husband, I was, nice to you. You guys were nice to me. Right. And I wasn't like, I didn't get anything out of like, oh my God, let me be nice to her because then, I'm going to get something out of it. It's just like, no, just you guys were great. So I'm always like, I love working with all of you.
Besides, I'm a drag queen. There ain't nothing to get, honey.
But you know what I mean?
All the money's invested in the wig. I mean, there ain't nothing left.
Yeah, that wig looks a lot more expensive than the one I have for my sister.
Oh, from Plancha.
I think I paid like $20 for
a
wig.
No. Oh no. Oh.
And then my mom's wig too. That was another one.
What was that?
My mom's wig.
Oh, your mom's wig.
The one I used for my mom.
Oh, yes, for the mother character that you do. It's funny. When I saw you do the mom, it actually reminded me of another drag queen that I know named Frida Cox.
Okay.
And she's done this like this character, this Latino mom, and she had like the same sort of wig, and she's wearing the house dress, and she's throwing the slippers at the kids,
The funny thing is when I put that wig on, those are actually my mom's glasses.
Oh,
she used to wear those glasses. My mom passed, but she used to wear those glasses. And when I wear the wig, I literally look like my mom. And it's so funny. And and the house dress that I wear, the muumuu, that's actually my wife's mom's house dress. So it's like it's all real. And that was just like something that I just came up with. Like I think it was like 3 years ago, and people really enjoyed it, and we put it on, and people started, sharing it and this and that. But you just have to be committed to it. I think it could have been it could be more famous than what it is, but it's just you have to have commitment, especially for social media. And I'm just so busy with other things because people ask me like, "Where's your sister?" So I'll be like, "Oh, she's in Dominican Republic. She's trying to get some implants." And it's funny because one of my really good friends, Amelia, who's one of your fans also, he told me one day we're in my car. Then he goes, "You know what I love about Plancha? That she's determined to find a man." And I'm like, and I'm like, she's me, right? And she goes, "No. You're Aldo. She's Plancha." And it was like, that's hysterical. It's like it's a character, but people really believe it.
That's
and
right.
It's good.
It is. That's a testament to you that you've created this character that even to your friend who knows you so well, it's like she's taken on her whole separate life.
Oh, everybody loves Blanche. Everyone always says, "When are you going to bring her on stage?" And I'm like, I'm not that guy. I can't. Right. It's like a minute video, which you just think of really quickly. Right. But to be on stage doing a whole, it's just a lot of work. That's why I give you guys so much credit. Like, you put 100% in and you do great.
Thank you. Well, we do what we can. And it's funny, we were talking before we came on the air about Plancha, and you said that her name actually means iron. In Spanish, because she has no breasts, so she's flat like an iron. So that's why I got the name. I didn't know anything about that.
And the funny thing is, the way Plancha came about was, I would say maybe 4 years ago, we went to Savers, in Long Island.
Yes.
So we went to Savers, and for Halloween, so we were looking for an outfit. So I picked up a suit. And my wife was like, "What am I gonna wear?" So, because we were gonna dress up as the Day of the Dead, which is like that Mexican holiday. Yes. So she's like, "What am I gonna wear?" And there was a wedding dress for $10. And I'm like, "What about this?" She's like, "That's not gonna fit me." I'm like, "It's $10." So we brought it home. She put it on, and it was so big on her. And then I put it on, and I remember I had a wig in the closet, so I came out. And I was like, "Oh, why can't I find a man? I look so hot. Why can't I find a man?" And she was cracking up, and she recorded me, and we put it on Facebook. And people were like, "Oh my God, this is hysterical."
You actually have a very nice back in a backless wedding gown for a man.
Yeah, I can't close it. That's okay. That's as much as it goes. It's supposed to go all the way up. I can't. And the reason, so the joke is she walks around in a wedding dress because she's determined to get married.
She's determined.
She's determined.
She's very determined. I give her credit. I like Plancha. She knows what she wants.
We should do a video.
She is determined to get it.
We should do a video together.
Oh my God! Yes, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
We could definitely do something. Maybe we'll maybe I'll interview Plancha for do like a quick little.
I would love to do it. That would be funny. Like you call. I'll tell Plancha that you have a job for her, and then and then you're calling her a drag queen, and then she's gonna be like, "I'm not a drag queen. I'm a girl."
That is hysterical. I'll be like, now can you? Yeah, I'll be like, so now can you death drop? What songs do you lip sync?
That would be I think that would be so funny.
Oh my God!
The soap opera that I just made, another character came in, which is his name was Orlando.
I saw that. Yes, right. You in the wig.
Yeah, this other. So the story is that my parents had 3 kids. Now, mind you, I'm the only child. So my parents had 3 kids. They had me, Plancha, and then just Orlando character came in.
Yes.
So supposedly the story is my mom had 3 children, but she felt like she couldn't afford 3, so she gave one away. And then Orlando just showed up. So
Orlando returns.
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I don't even know. Telenovela.
Right. Everything I love like that whole concept of the telenovela. Everything is like so over the top, over dramatic. It's like every little thing.
Don't you know what's good about Spanish soap operas is that they end. It's not like General Hospital that's on for like 80 years.
Right.
Like they end. Now, mind you, we all know how it ends. Somebody gets married and somebody dies. But at least it ends. So it's like, but.
Well, so I know in yours, I mean, I'm assuming that Plancha would be the one to get married. Now, so that means either you or Orlando got to kick the bucket.
Well, what happened is, I forgot what I did it a while. I don't even remember. I just did it up like 2 months ago. Supposedly, I guess my mother says I had 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? She had 3 boys. So Plancha's like, "What do you mean? I'm not a boy." And that's when she goes, "Oh my God, that's another story."
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So that's how that ended. And it's funny because I would say I got maybe about 23 people writing to me saying, "Oh my God, you have to tell us the story of how Plancha became Plancha."
Yeah,
because if she was a boy,
yes.
It's just social media is just it's so funny how people just love, just stay tuned. And that's what's going on now, like television. Like no one really watches television the way they used to.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? So before it would be like, oh my God, like don't get me wrong, if I would get a sitcom on NBC, it would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But who's really watching sitcoms on NBC? You know what I mean? It's mostly like older people. So now everything is just about streaming. Mm-hmm. Like you could watch like Netflix and you're watching a series for like consecutive, and that's what it is. Like you have YouTube, and that's how a lot of these comedians becoming. A lot of comedians hate on like social media comedians because they're like, oh, they're not comedians.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it like, okay, it is hard doing it is what we're doing. Like, can you be on stage and do an hour straight or an hour and a half straight of material? Mm-hmm. Some of them can't, but I give them the respect that they're doing something that's getting them so many followers. Like, you see some of these kids that they're getting 50, 60, 70, a million followers. And it's like, and a lot of comedians are hating on them. Like, oh, they suck. They're not comedians, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but they're doing something that's catching that eye.
Now, is that what you're finding now in the comedy world, that the sort of like old school comedians are resentful of the new school comedians that may be doing stuff like, on TikToks, for instance?
Well, it's a lot different now than what it used to be before, because now we have social media.
Right.
That's like even like videos, like music videos. Like, remember when everyone would watch MTV, or if you were like into hip hop or R&B before, they used to be on public access, used to be video music box, so everyone would watch that. But now it's all about streaming. Like everybody's on their smartphone, so you're getting all these streams, and that's how they're making their money. Nobody watches TV. All the kids are always on their phone, and that's just, you can't hate it. That's just what it is. Like, look at us now. We're on here.
Here we are.
You know what I mean? So it's like, imagine if this was the 70s or the 80s. What would we be doing? We'd be like pulling our hair, like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I often say that to my husband. I'm like, can you imagine if like we were going through this, like, like 20 years ago, when we didn't really have like, as much, as far as social media and internet that we do now. I mean, it would just be, I don't know. I mean, people would really be losing their minds. I think.
We would be a cashier right now at a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because like I used to work I've been doing comedy full time 10 years, maybe not even, probably like 6 years, 7 years full time. This is all I do. Mm-hmm. But before this, I worked at Gucci for 10 years. I used to sell ladies' shoes. Yeah, so it's like, oh my God, can I get a discount? No, I'm not there anymore.
Wait. Oh no, he's not there anymore.
Well, what size? Hold on, let's just end this right here. What size did you wear? What size do you wear?
11.
A woman's 11?
Woman's 11.
Well, there wasn't that many, so.
I know. But let me tell you, as far as drag queens go, having a size 11 foot, I'm considered small. That's
that's pretty good
size.
Because that's pretty good.
I can find things, that a lot of girls can't.
Right, because in men's shoes, I wear a 12. Mostly, like I wear Nikes. Those are 13s.
Mm.
So that would be a 15 lady.
15, yeah.
That's a big girl.
Yeah. She's a big girl.
That's a big girl.
It's funny when I had said to you when I think I commented when I saw you were doing Plancha, that I was like, did I help inspire this to be doing like a female character?
Yeah, they've been. I've been doing. I started.
You've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I just haven't brought it out.
Mm.
And I mean, I enjoy doing it. It's my wife is the one that gets certain ideas for it, and like, let's do this, let's do that. I'm like, okay, but she works. Like, she's actually working. Like, she's home now, but she's in this. They call it an essential worker. She's a building manager, so she's actually working. But I'm working too. I'm still doing stand up. I perform every day. I do shows for seniors during the day with Zoom. Mm-hmm. Sorry about the dog barking.
I love animals, so I don't get. What's the dog's name?
Ricky. He's a 16-year-old Shih Tzu.
Oh.
That's going blind and deaf. So it's like he knows I'm in this room. Ricky. So that's why he's barking.
But he can't see or hear you.
He sees shadows, so that's what's going. So he knows I'm in here.
He knows
that's why he's barking.
That's okay. I love dogs. If there's anybody watching and you're bothered by the dog barking, I'm sorry. Okay, we love our pets, and that's all.
And that's another thing with this whole Zoom thing is like I do acting also. So when my agent sends me like auditions and stuff like that, you have to self tape, and sometimes you have that, So right. It's like fuck. Like the other day. Like 2 weeks ago, I had like 12 paragraphs to memorize, and I couldn't get them, and then I finally got it perfect, and then all of a sudden and that's why I posted that video when I'm like, are you kidding? Like I edited the part out of the audition because you're not allowed to post it, just the part of me screaming at the dogs, like, are you effing kidding me? Now you have the part? Now that I finally got it perfect? And the funny thing is, after I did that, it still took me like 5 times to do it. And they were quiet. So I'm like, oh, God.
You should post the parts where you're yelling at the dog. You could probably...
that was it. That was the part. But I couldn't post the audition prior to that.
No. But the parts where you're yelling at the dog, I'm sure that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I posted that. It's on my. I think.
You did post it on
Instagram. Yeah, I did.
I gotta look.
Yeah,
I gotta look for it. Yes, please. No, that's it's funny that you do these shows for the seniors, because before all this started, I was doing like all these live shows at senior centers and rehab facilities. I went in and I do a whole 1 hour, one woman
Right.
show, and I sing live. I do like a lot of the oldies and things, and it's always so much fun. They are such an appreciative audience. I have to say. I mean, do you find that to be true?
Yeah, I've been doing the senior shows for about a little over almost a year and a half, and I do it with this other comedian. His name's Howard Newman. He's I think you met him. I think that's how we met each other. And he's a jokey joke guy, like joke. So what I do is, when he offered me a job, I never performed for seniors before, because my style of comedy is pretty raunchy. But I've done churches, I've done clean shows, fundraisers.
Right.
So I said, I don't know what I'm going to say to the seniors. So what I do is, I just talk to them. And I'm like, oh my God, like, let's say I'm like, oh, how you doing, darling? Look how, I love your pearls. Look how beautiful you look your pearls.
My pearl necklace.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I just talk to them, and they like compliments, and then I just make them laugh. I talk about, what's going on. Like, even with now that I'm performing with the seniors, I'll be like, as you see, I'm growing a beard. I think everybody right now is growing a beard during this quarantine. Even a lot of you women right now, I see, have beards. So a lot of them laugh.
I hope I don't have 5 o'clock shadows. So
I
spent 3 hours covering it up.
Do you spend 3 hours? No.
Sometimes it can. It usually takes about 3 hours to get.
Wow.
To fully become Toni Homeperm. Yes.
The eyes looked like it took a while.
Yeah, it's a lot of eye makeup. I mean, brows are glued down. I mean, anything resembling the boy has to be eradicated. It just it cannot be seen.
And how long does it take to take it off?
Oh, not long. It comes off fast. Let me tell you. When you're done, when you do drag and you are done, you're done. You want everything off, out, unstrapped, unbuckled, unhooked as quickly as possible.
I remember maybe it was like 8-9 years ago. A friend of mine, he was dating someone who was part of the LGBT. Like in Queens, like the parade and stuff.
The Pride parade?
Yeah. So he invited me to a Halloween party. So I said, I'm going to dress in drag. And I was like, I don't know how to do my makeup. So I remember I went to a Queens Center Mall, and I went inside Macy's. And I went to Mac, and I remember I was like, how much would you charge me to do my makeup? And they're like, oh, we'll do it for free, but you have to buy $200 worth of makeup. I'm like, I'm not going to wear makeup. So then I'm walking, and I passed by Estee Lauder, and I said, how much would you charge me? And the lady was like, oh my God, you're beautiful. I would love to do your makeup for free. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'll pay you. She's like, no, those would be fun. We're bored. And they did my makeup, and it was so funny because people were passing by. Long story short, I went to the Halloween party, and I remember this one woman was like, so what have you, so this woman was asking me, she goes, so what are you supposed to be? And I'm like, I'm a girl. And they're like, yeah, we know you're a girl, but what are you supposed to be? She thought I was a girl. And I'm like, I'm really a guy. And then she goes, you're not a guy. And I remember I was wearing pantyhose. Let me tell you, pantyhose are warm. So I picked up my little skirt, and I didn't have any underwear, and I showed her my pantyhose, and she started cracking up. My friend said that I looked like a young Liza Minnelli.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Liza with a Z. Who would have guessed? Aldo with a D. Liza with a Z.
Liza with a Z. Someone else said that I look like the girl from Flashdance.
Oh, Jennifer Beals.
Yeah.
First, when there's nothing, he's a maniac on the floor.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. But it was funny because I couldn't find. I was looking for shoes, and I remember I went to Jamaica Avenue. And I actually found the size 15 shoes in Jamaica Avenue.
Oh, you were lucky.
It was like this, but they had this little heel, but it was so hard to walk in. It was hysterical.
You should. Well, you've seen the size of the heels that I walk in.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
do they have platform?
Usually, yeah.
That helps you a little bit, no?
A little bit, but not much. Not much. It's still, took quite some getting used to when I first did it. But
so how long you been doing this for?
I think I'm over 3 years now.
That's it?
Yeah. I started.
Wow.
When did I start? 2017. I think 2017. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know it's supposed to be you're interviewing me, but now I'm gonna say. So what made you do it?
Originally I was just doing it like as a charity thing, because I was a member of the Long Island Gay Men's Chorus, and they were doing a fundraiser, drag cabaret, and I was putting it together. And I said, you know what? I'll throw on a wig and some lipstick, and perform if it means that it's going to help raise money. So that's how it all started,
Wow.
and it all just just went like. Well, I don't know. Did it go like that or did it go like that? I don't know yet. We'll see.
Well, where do I know you? I know you about almost 2 years now.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, well, you do a great job. So I didn't think it was just the time that you just said. I thought it was a long time.
Well, I was doing it a lot longer in my mind.
There you go.
I actually did it for real.
Yeah. Some of the girls you perform with are just so talented. Like
amazing.
They do these splits, and I'm like, how are they not getting hurt?
I don't know. Like the one drag performer. I think you've seen her, Ruby Monroe.
Yes, Ruby.
She is amazing.
Her leg just go.
I know the girl is like a human pretzel.
Yeah.
It's like ambidextrous, like the everything, the elbow, the joints are just, they can go any way she wants. I don't know.
Well, I think it helps that she's like what, 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
At our age, you're gonna you fall, and that's real break dancing. Like we're gonna break something.
Yeah, I always say, if you see Toni Holmperm do a death drop, please call the ambulance right away, because it may literally be a death drop. It's like, that's why I prefer to sing, and I do a little, a little dee, and I'm good. People like Ruby, they can do that the death drops and all that hard stuff. I'm like, girls, it's all yours. I'm not even going to attempt to compete with you on that level.
I think
all yours.
I think that's awesome. Like when they do those competitions, like
yes,
like when they do you know about like different houses and stuff like that?
Yes, a very a good friend of mine is Egypt LaBeija, and she was from the House of LaBeija, which is like, that was in the like Paris is Burning. Of course. And
I know a couple of people from the House of Extravaganza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so when they do the ball, I was actually supposed to perform at one of the balls. Maybe about like 15 years ago, but it never happened.
Oh,
but but I think that when they compete, it's just like,
it's amazing. And let me tell you, they are like hardcore. It's like, you're judged on every little tiny minute thing, and it's like, it's no joke.
Yeah,
they're not fooling around.
Competition of face. So it's
the
so
competition is extreme. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's too bad. You didn't get to do that, but maybe you will in the.
Yeah, I'm still in contact. I'm still in contact with some people from the House of Extravaganza. So you never know. But it's pretty cool.
Oh my God! Yeah. I mean, you'll never see Toni Holmperm competing at a ballroom type of thing. I mean, that's not gonna happen. I will gladly watch, and I will applaud, and I'll give some snap ups, but that's it.
Yeah,
that's all she's gonna do. That's all she's gonna do.
Do they have anything like that in Long Island? Because you're from Long Island, right?
Yeah. We have like the Miss Fire Island competition and the Miss Cherries out on Fire Island, but not gonna be having those. This summer.
I'm gonna pet Ricky so you can stop.
Oh, give Ricky. Want
to see Ricky? Look, this is Ricky.
Oh, hello, Ricky. Hello. Well, you know what, Aldo? Since you're giving Ricky a pet, we're going to take a quick break right now for our sponsors, and we will be right back after these messages with more of Aldo Marachlian. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for more Talking Toni. I'm Toni Homeperm, the singing diva of Long Island. Joining me today, comedian extraordinaire, Mr. Aldo Marachlian of Comedy Central's After Dark, MTV. What other TV things have you done, Aldo?
It was called Comedy After Dark.
Oh, Comedy After Dark. I'm so sorry. I know it was Comedy Central. I just thought it was Comedy Central.
Yeah, it was on Comedy Central. Then it went on Netflix. What else? I was on. I'm gonna make you laugh. I was on Millionaire Matchmaker.
Oh, with what's her name? Patty Stanger.
Yes, I was on that.
You were one of the? Were you one of the?
Well, I wasn't. I wasn't one of the millionaires. I went out with this poker player. Her name was Beth Shack, professional poker player. So I was on that show. I was on. I did a lot. It's so funny. I got called for a lot of single shows. I did that. I did Bethany show. I did
Bethany
a lot of
Frankel.
Yeah, they kept calling me for to be the single guy in a lot of these shows, and I just filmed something in July that's supposed to be coming out soon called Comedy 420. So it's about 420 people that smoke weed, and so
420. I thought that just meant April 20th.
Well, it was actually supposed to come out on April 20th, but then with this whole quarantine. So I just shot that. I'm not sure where it's going to come out. Maybe it'll come out on Amazon or something. All right. But yeah, I'm constantly busy. I got a couple of commercials I was just airing. I did one for Hennessy. I did one for Safety Week. I did one on Channel 7. A lot of the seniors, when I showed them the video, they're like, "Oh my God, I seen you." So that was like
I seen him on the TV.
You look so different. Is that a Long Island voice? Hello. I've been.
It could be. It could be.
I think girls in Long Island start smoking really young to look cool, and then they'll be like 26. I stopped smoking. I'm like, how old? I'm like, hello. Like I remember when you do online dating, you were like, hi. May I speak to your daughter, please? And they're like, it's me.
I'm only 13 years old.
Yeah.
You want to speak to my mother?
They got that speak. That is so true.
But let me ask you, because I used to watch that Millionaire Matchmaker all the time. I was like addicted to that show. Just how scripted are those shows, really?
Well, all I'm going to say about the show is that the girl...
Non-disclosure. You can't break the non-disclosure agreement.
I don't know. It seems pretty good. But
what were you going to say now about the girl?
The girl, I heard the girl, because I may believe I had to go to the bathroom. But I didn't. I wasn't going to the bathroom. I just wanted to listen to what was going on.
Okay.
And I heard her say that she was going to pick me. But the thing was, there was an age difference. Like I was in my 30s and she was in her late 40s. So I guess they didn't want her to seem like a MILF.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't go anywhere. It's like,
Right.
you know, it's whatever. I don't think the girl was there looking actually for a boyfriend.
I think most of the time, like that show is like, they pick somebody and it's really just for the show. And then after it, it's like, very rarely, I think, would anybody actually make a real love connection.
Yeah. That's like, my wife watches that, was it 90 Day Fiance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't watch any of these reality shows. You know what's funny? I'm not going to lie to you. I remember I auditioned for the Jersey Shore.
Oh.
And they told me I wasn't Italian enough. And I'm like, oh, you mean I'm not a Guido? That's what it is? That's pretty much what it was.
Well, apparently that's what they wanted, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, that would have been... I mean, the show is dumb, but hey, they're all millionaires, right? So...
If they're not in jail, I guess.
I guess. I think that guy got out of jail.
I think so. But one of them did go, right? I mean,
the situation, I think, for
right. Didn't he got in trouble for like taxes, right?
Yeah.
So now I asked you about when you were a kid, and you were a funny kid. Who were the comedians that you remember as a kid that inspired you?
The first comedian that I remember I seen was at my friend Robert Savino's house. His father pulled out a VHS tape. And I remember I watched Buddy Hackett.
Buddy Hackett, wow!
Yeah,
that's like a blast from the past.
That was the first stand-up show I ever seen. Was Buddy Hackett, and can we curse on this or no?
Yeah.
Okay, and I remember the lady, Buddy Hackett saw some lady. He goes, "Hey, lady, nice tits," and I was like, "Who is it?" I was like, "Oh my god, who is this guy?" And we used to watch that tape every day after school. And I think I was in maybe 4th grade. And then I think the next comedian I ever watched was Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy Delirious. Yeah, and then I remember I bought his cassette tapes. And but I used to always like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh yes.
Yeah, big fan.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I never got to meet him. But and then the person that I was like, that's my idol, was Andrew Dice Clay. And the only reason I liked Andrew Dice Clay, I didn't like the whole, belittling women, but
the misogynistic stuff. But he was funny.
But what I liked about him, what I always say was, he was the first comedian that packed Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
Being, that dirty. Like the funniest thing he said, which was stupid, was when he said, "Remember Mother Goose? I fucked her." I just thought that was hysterical. And
what was that? Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet.
Eating her curbs and whey. Along came a spider, sat down beside and said, "Hey, what's in the bowl, bitch?" But yeah, and then I like George Carlin, Sam Kinison. Yeah, but Buddy Hackett was the first stand-up I ever seen. I remember I seen Don Rickles. I seen him in Vegas, and I remember I was sitting in the front row with my friends. We went to see him. It was one of those dinner and comedy, and I was with my friends, and they're two like really fat guys, and I used to be really skinny. Like I didn't gain weight till I hit 30. Like I used to literally weigh, I think I weighed the same from 8th grade till 30. I was 6'3", 140 pounds.
Oh my, you were like a twig.
Yeah, I had the body of like a tranny from Thailand. You know what I mean?
Don't use that word. No, you can't say that word.
Thailand? Sorry.
You're gonna get me in trouble with that, with everything LGBTQ in the whole entire world.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I could say one thing.
I must educate you. We don't. It's considered a very derogatory term.
What?
Tranny.
Is it?
Oh yes. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Politically incorrect.
Really?
I'm only just letting you know.
Transgender
there it is.
Better.
If anything, you have to say transgender.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have transgender friends. Yeah. I didn't mean anything bad.
No, I know you didn't mean any. I know you didn't mean anything.
If I offended anyone, I am so sorry. I have many transgender friends. If you go on my Facebook, you see I do. I'm not lying.
It's like everything nowadays is like, it's like, you know, oh wait, what is like, you know, politically correct now? What? Oh wait,
when did that even come into existence? This whole, you can't say this, you can't say that. I'm getting offended.
I don't know.
And you know what the funny thing is?
No.
The people that get offended is because they're not that. They're not that.
Usually, no.
You know what I mean? Like if you make fun of Armenians, oh my God, how dare you make fun of Armenians? Well, what are you? I'm Portuguese. What do you care? You know what I mean? So it's like, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
No, I know you didn't. You would never. You would never offend anyone. But you know, being a part of the LGBTQ community, it is my responsibility.
Okay.
Just to, you know, keep you informed.
All right, Tony.
Well, Tony's friends, derogatory.
Tony's friends and fans, if I offended you, I strongly apologize. I
forgive you. I forgive you.
Yeah, I
forgive you. Speaking of that, though, it seems more and more. It's hard to do comedy without offending somebody. But how can you not do comedy without offending somebody?
But look, everything you say, anything anyone says is offensive. Because if you go, why did the chicken cross the road? What if a chicken's your god? Right? What if you pray to a chicken? So now I'm like, oh my God, I offended a chicken?
You have offended my God, the chicken. How dare you? I'm triggered.
I think everything everyone says is offensive. I think it's just the way it's said.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what I said before, I wasn't being offensive about it.
No, not at all.
But you know what I mean? It's just the way people say it.
Yes.
Like if you could be like, you could make fun of Italians, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, oh, Italians is that. But if you go, these fucking Italians,
right?
Then you're being offensive.
Yes.
But if you're but it's like everything you say is offensive.
I know. It's like so I'm just always like, you know, comedy these days, it's got to be difficult because you know, if you get that mindset of like,
I say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I always called my style of comedy politely offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't ask an old lady, did you shave your vagina today? That's offensive, but it's politely offensive. You know what I mean? So it's
I'm like,
I want to know, why is there a razor? Those are the worst razors. You shave with that? I would.
No.
If I shave with that, my whole neck would look like Friday the 13th. But it's just like. But I always, let me tell you something. I always been like, even since I was little, I always got away with anything. Like I remember a friend of mine got implants one time, and I said, "Oh, finally, I have something to come on."
Oh,
right? So it's like I never did anything to her, but it was like, and she's cracking up, and then my other friend goes, "Yeah, only he could say that, right?" She goes, "Yeah, Aldo could say whatever he wants. If you would say that, I would punch you in the face."
There you go.
So it's just, I guess it's just your delivery.
I guess. You know, it's funny that we're talking about this because, you know, you brought up Andrew Dice Clay. And, you know, remember like back in the, I think it was like the early 90s when Sinead OConnor, when they were going to be on Saturday Night Live together. And she, you know,
she got banned from Saturday Night Live.
Well, then she got banned because she ripped up the picture of the Pope. Right. But she like, you know, she wouldn't go on because he was going to be on. And, but, you know, that's really like the first time I remember, you know, anything like that where, you know, like a comedian was, you know, being called out for like, you know, and she was calling him out for basically for being misogynistic, you know.
Yeah, I think Andrew Dice Clay I think he cursed. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Steve Marshall, a comedian, he's the guy that got me into comedy. I remember he used to have a joke about that. He said Sinead OConnor got banned from Saturday Night Live for ripping a picture of the Pope.
Right.
And remember, he said, "I want to know, why does the Pope have an 8x10?" So that used to be one of his jokes, which was great.
Well, you know, maybe he's looking to pick up some extra cash on the side. Maybe they needed somebody to, you know, film something religious, you know,
for the next Naked Gun.
Right. You know, who knows, right? It's like, you know, your benevolence. You know, do you have an 8x10 glossy? Who's your agent?
The Vatican. That's another thing. You can't make fun of that either.
No, right. I don't think so. I don't know.
You can't make fun of anything. It's like, oh God,
it's very hard.
Like, get over it. Like,
I know.
Like, relax.
That's usually why, I'm not a stand-up comedian by any means, but I mean, I do a little, comedic patter. Usually what I do is I do, I self-deprecating stuff or I make fun of my husband. That's like the one thing nobody gets triggered about. I'm
like, women can get mad at you because they're saying, why are you impersonating a woman?
Right. Although, I've never actually ever tried to pass myself off as being that I was impersonating. I'm always very upfront that, I'm a man. This is all an illusion.
Like, people just need to calm down.
I know. Well, that's true. Well, there you go. There's that Taylor Swift song. You need to calm down. But yeah, it's like people are very, very, very touchy. Have you ever
I've been like that. I've been like that since I was little. Like, I never judged anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like one of my my dearest friends, Emilio. He's one of, like I said, he's one of your fans. And Emilio's gay. And you know what he said to me? He goes, one thing I love about you is that you never judged me. And I'm like, who am I to judge you? Right. You know what I mean? That's your life. And the way I met him was, I was at the gym and he was what do you call it? Cruising. So he kept following me. And then he just started talking to me, but he'd never been disrespectful or anything like that. And I wasn't like, get away from me, whatever. And I'm like, whatever. And we're like best friends. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've never been that person to judge. I remember when I was little, living in Brooklyn, I remember there used to be a transgender that used to walk around the neighborhood. And I remember kids used to be mean to her.
Oh yeah.
And I used to always say, why do you do that? And I used to get mad at them. I'm like, leave her alone. She's not bothering. She's not bothering anyone.
Right.
And they used to be like, she's not a she, she's a guy. And I'm like, leave her. But how is she bothering you?
What difference does it make what she is? I mean, it's
that's the problem. Like, no one, like, everyone should just live your life. But like I say, that's how I was since I was little. Like, I knew she was different, but I'm like, I don't care. She's not bothering me. And I used to say hello every day. He's like, hi. So that's just, I think that's just the way we should live our lives.
If only. I mean, the world would be such a better place if everybody could just, be a little bit more tolerant. I mean,
especially now. Hello.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's 2020.
I know. Although sometimes I see things on the news and I'm like, oh, are we back in the 1950s? It's like, I don't know.
That kind of that angers me when people to me, everyone's the same. That's just,
well, we're all flesh and blood. We all have this, it's the same color blood that runs through everybody's veins. I mean,
it's funny because when I started doing their shows with you guys and people are like, you're doing drag queen shows now for real? And I'm like, yeah, they're really fun. They're great, and I get paid. So like, who cares? I'm like, they're nice. They're performing like we are. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's the problem.
Speaking of performing, drag shows, especially like before all this happened. I mean, there's always so much competition because there's so many performers, but there's only so many jobs available. How cutthroat, or can it get cutthroat in the comedic world? Competition.
Well, that's why I produce my own shows, because I always say, if no one books you, then you book yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I know exactly what you mean. Hello.
Like, everyone used to call me the king of Queens because I literally used to run like 12 to 15 comedy shows a month. In Queens, and it's like, it's so easy. But let me tell you, Long Island is funny because like, I never perform in I would love to perform in Long Island. I never get booked in Long Island. And the funny thing is, Long Island is comedy is weird. Like, if you do comedy clubs, you can't do other shows, and if you do other shows, you can't do comedy clubs. And I'm like, so how are we supposed to work?
Who made that rule?
I don't know. That's just like something that goes on out there.
Oh,
It's hysterical.
I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that.
And it's like I don't get it. It's like we have to work. Like I book everyone. If you ever come to a show, I book black, white, transgender. I don't care what you are. All I want you to do is be funny.
Right.
I don't care. It's not a white show. It's not a black show. It's not this. It's not that. It's a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
I host all my shows. I have no idea what I talk about. I book probably like only two or three comedians because I'm going to do a lot of time between comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And I give work to everybody because we have to eat.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you can't worry about, well, why doesn't this person book me? Right? So book your own show. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like the drag shows you guys put together. I'm like, I know I could probably put some of those shows together and I could just host it.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So it's like hopefully when all this is I'm always thinking of ways to make money
Mm-hmm.
because this is what I do. It's my
Right.
full-time job.
Right.
My wife's very supportive of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because she always tells me, if you weren't funny, I would tell you, babe, you got to go back to work. And and she's very, very supportive on that. And I used to make when I worked at Gucci, I used to make like six figures. I don't make that doing comedy, but I live pretty comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to want to make money.
Right.
So like I said, like when we met at
I think it was Governors.
a governor. So we did that show.
Yeah.
So let's say that show happens like every 2 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you supposed to do for the 2 months? You have to eat.
Right.
So go to other places and put shows together.
Exactly.
And then no one's like, oh my God, you can do that? Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Like, hello. Like you have to eat. You can't worry about everyone else. That's one thing that's the problem is that everyone worries about everyone else. Because I'm gonna be like, oh, look at Toni. She's doing a show, let's say at a diner. Okay. I used to run shows at a diner. I ran a show listen to this. I ran a show in a bowling alley for like 3 years.
Wow.
And I did it in the bar in the bowling alley.
Okay.
And it's like I could have still been doing that show, but I fired myself. I'm like, I gotta leave because it started dying out. And the owner loved the show, but I felt weird taking money from him. So I ended the show. It's like let me quit before I get fired. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can do a show anywhere.
Absolutely.
There's an audience for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, that is so true.
And even now with this whole Zoom thing, it's a little weird doing comedy with like right now me and you are doing this interview.
Right.
So I don't see the audience.
Right.
So it's a little weird.
Yes.
Because I've done a couple of shows like this and it's like I don't like it. Because I like to hear, I want to see what's going on. So when I do the show with the seniors, it's good because I actually see 40 little faces and I can relate and I know what I'm saying is making them laugh. And I could put, like on Saturday, I did a show for Narcotics Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
And we had over 200 people. So it was really, I've been performing with them for 2 years now. We do one show a year. And they enjoyed me and they've been booking me and it's really good money.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like maybe 500-600 people there at this huge, it's like the huge hall in like in a hotel. And they plan it every year and it's like a whole weekend thing. And so now I'm like their guy. So when they had this thing Saturday, they asked me, would you like to be part? So this thing was international. So there was actually people from all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. And what was great about it is, that's one thing I always say is, whenever you're performing, even if it's 2 people in the audience or 200, you never know who's watching you.
Yes, that's very true.
So from that show, someone seen me and wants to book me for a virtual show, pay me hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's seen me at this other show.
Right.
And he's seen that I could do it online.
Yes.
And that's one thing. I used to run a show in Astoria for 9 years, every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it was just me and you. Mm-hmm. And I would still perform for you.
Right.
And the owner used to always love that about me. He goes, you don't care if there's only one person. Right. And I look at it like, well, that person left their house to see me.
Yes, it's very true.
So you always have to put 100%. I got so many high-paying gigs from little audiences.
Mm-hmm.
because you never know who's watching. I did a show one time. I did a guest spot at an Italian restaurant one time. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and I didn't get paid. And when I left, when we were outside at the end of the show, this one guy goes, "You look like the best fucking guy on the show." And I'm like, "Well, I just got paid with a bowl of macaroni." He goes, "Mac, what's the matter with you?" So he gave me $100 bill, right?
Oh.
So then when his buddies were coming out, he goes, "Can you believe this guy? He didn't fucking get paid." Long story short, I made $600 at the end of the show on tips, right?
Nice.
And then the guy booked me for a Christmas party at his house.
Mm-hmm.
He paid me $500.
See?
You never know.
But if you had been like, "Oh, this is like, a crap gig. I'm just gonna like phone it in." It was like that wouldn't have happened.
No.
See, but because even though, it was like not a huge amount of people, you still gave, 110% of yourself.
Yeah.
And even though it was a small audience, they all saw that, and it led to something else.
That's why I like doing the show, these drag shows, because you guys put 110% in.
We try. I mean, we really try. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, even just creating all of this before you even step out the door to drive to the show is like a whole thing in itself. But
I give you guys a lot of credit because
it's not for the faint-hearted. Believe me. Some people maybe there's some sort of stereotype that like, drag queens, they're like, they're wishy-washy, or they're big sissy Marys or whatever. Let me tell you, it's hard work. I mean, there are like, some men, you put them in all this and then they've got to like walk in heels. I mean, they want to they can't do it.
So who's against the drag queens?
Who's against the drag queens?
Yeah, like who do you have beef with? Like what in the entertainment business?
Oh, I don't have beef with anybody. Everyone loves me, but So
there's competition with you girls too, right?
Well, it's hard in that, and it's probably more like in the city than Long Island. It's like there's only so many places to perform, and especially in the city, you toss a penny and you'll hit a drag queen. Right. Do they still have lips? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But everything is shut down right now. But,
right, of course.
But
that's still happening.
That still happens, a Stonewall and Industry and Rock Bar and all these places. I mean, they're still there. It's just no, they're there, but nobody's actually there.
And one thing I notice is you guys work for tips, right?
A lot of times there's a fee, a booking fee. Most of the time I get a booking fee. If I'm doing something for charity, that's different. But a lot of times, a lot of girls are working for tips, right. Even with a booking fee. It doesn't quite cover. The drag is expensive. It is not cheap. It is not cheap.
Well, that's why when I was co-hosting the last show, I kept saying, "Come on, make sure you tip. Come on," and I kept pushing the tip, and.
Thank you. There's nothing that pleases us more.
Yeah, I had so much fun. I think I did 4 shows already, 3 shows. But it's great. I always, since day one, I got so much love from everyone. So
the drag queens love you, Aldo. They love you. Actually, I think it was my friend Alexis Flame who she saw your picture and she's like, "Oh, he's handsome."
Hello.
You got the Alexis Flame seal of approval. So there's not much higher approval you can get than that.
Nice. Well, hopefully, like I said, once this is all over, maybe we should all do something together.
Keep our fingers crossed. Keep them crossed.
And toes.
Yes. But I can't believe it, but we're almost at the end of the show.
That was a quick hour.
I know, I tell you. And I had
I don't shut up.
I wanted to ask you, and I didn't get to. But
you got 30 seconds. Let's do it. One question.
What can we do? I mean, it is what it is. But Aldo, tell everyone who's watching where they can find you, if they want to hire you, how do they book you, all that information.
You know what? I'm going to rename myself right here. So if you have social media, I go by Aldo Laugh. I put it right there.
Aldo Laugh. There we go.
Put it right there. See how easy? And that's my website too, aldolaugh.com.
Aldolaugh.com.
Yeah. It's also on my social media, Aldo Laugh. But yeah, please follow me and keep following Toni. She's doing a great job. I would love to come back, and I will be quiet next time, and you could ask me all the questions.
No, please. You know, you're the perfect kind of guest to have, because you make what I do so much easier. Believe me, you were terrific.
Yeah, and I almost forgot about the show. That was the funny thing. I told you I was folding clothes, and I'm like, oh my god, I have the show.
He's folding clothes, and then realizes he's like, oh wait a minute, I got a gig in the living room.
Yeah, and thank God I don't have to drive. I threw on a t-shirt and came to the living room.
Yes.
But Toni, thank you so much. Say hello to your husband for me.
I will. He was like so excited when he knew that you were gonna be on. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. And everyone who's watching or listening, you can find Aldo at Aldo Laugh on all platforms. I would assume that's Twitter, Instagram, your website. So if you need a really funny guy, he's the guy. He's the guy, okay? He's the guy. All right, well, thank you so much, Aldo, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you in about 2 weeks. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
She talks to the people all night long, chatting and a gabbing and a singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Toni go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Toni, talking Toni. Oh, talking Toni, gonna talk tonight.